Welcome back everyone to the BD1P random character streak. Today is going to be a random tainted character run for win number 150 in a row. It's a pretty big milestone. I'm pretty excited for this, but today's question of the day, because it should be the day after Christmas right now. What was your favorite gift that you received for Christmas this year? And was it what you wanted, like / expected, or was it an entirely different thing? I don't know. I don't know your life story, man. I don't know what you want for Christmas. I'm not Santa Claus. Leave me alone. Let's get started here. I don't know because it is currently January 23rd for me, so I can't really tell you what I'm going to another Tainted Bethany run. What I'm going to be getting for Christmas, but I hope it's something good. Your seed's going to be 62YN4SBX. So our last run as this character ended up being pretty intense. It was one of our better runs of the revivaled random streak here, pretty much. But I wanted to talk about today an album that is pretty close to my heart, and that is the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I get it. It's the emo album. Leave me alone. Do you see my hair? But it's an album that I think it was almost everybody's like first intro to the kind of emo or goth scene back in, I don't even know. It came out, what, 2012, 2014, something like that. And I wasn't around for its inception. I was pretty young, but it is an album that I've grown to love over the span of the last, like, decade almost, because it is just one of those albums that I think for me, no, it had to be 2010 because it's a decade old already. But it is one of those albums, or 2008, I don't care, I don't know when it came out. But it is an album that I've grown to love over the past little bit, and I think it is a listen that everybody should give a try to. Ooh, quad shot. Hello, thank you for that one. The reasoning behind that is I think it is one of the best rock operatic albums to ever be released. And I know it's kind of like, you know, it's being a little bit disingenuous to the classic albums out there. With your older different rock operatics like Queen's 1 or Queen 2, which are, you know, good albums in their own right. I think the Black Parade hits this weird stride where everything it wants to do, it does so perfectly. And there are times when, you know, Queen stumbles, you know, like they don't really have the greatest hits on their albums, and that's fine. My Chemical Romance has some not so great songs, in my opinion, out there too, but the Black Parade is next to unparalleled for a perfect album, let alone in the emo scene, but just the entirety of the rock scene. I feel like they are normally shat upon for just kind of being like the middle schooler music, just for just being like an emo band. And while that is a funny criticism, I don't think it's entirely fair to say that. Just because, like, you know, they were picked up by the emo scene and that age group, it doesn't make their music any less impactful. I would argue that a lot of modern, whether it be just Midwest emo or regular emo, is really heavily inspired by their first album, I Gave You Your Love, You Gave Me Your Bullets. Like that album itself has really nice chord progressions in it, and it kind of shows its influence in stuff. And I would even argue that a little bit of modern baseball is formatted kind of like that album is. And I don't know a ton of, huge. I don't know a ton of modern baseball. I'll be real with you. I'm not like super into modern baseball, but I can see the influence very slightly, and it's not very apparent, but there definitely is a little bit of influence there. And I would argue too, like bands like Mayday Parade, their earlier stuff, especially the way that their guitar is produced and mixed, it does sound a little bit, you know, kind of like My Chemical Romance's final album, which I believe was Danger Days. But going back to Black Parade, it is also a kind of like a story album. It's close to a concept album for me, honestly, where it touches upon pretty heavy themes about losing a loved one and what comes with that. And it's weird because it's written from a place of the writer, who is Gerard Way, the lead singer of the band. From what I understand, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. Oh, great. But it's written from a place of stuff that he hasn't directly experienced, but he wants to put into words, because there are definitely feelings that I think everyone in the world feels that you haven't experienced, but you can imagine what it's like to feel like that. And it's kind of hard to put that into writing, even in the words nonetheless. And the fact that he did it so effortlessly on that album, from the first opening song to the closing song, it is quite impressive. Not to be a Patrick Bateman about it, but I do want to talk about the album a bit more, because I think that it's worth, you know, if everyone just check it out once or twice in their life. Well, I'm probably pretty good. Yo, that's huge for our Devil deal this floor, which I'm not sure if I want to walk into, but now I kind of want to, just because we have, but it wouldn't be bad to use it. Here's the thing, right? You do really want to get Angel deals on this run because you don't have proper HP. So what I am going to do, I'm going to take a bit of a risk here, yeah? Take a slight risk. So I'm going to say the secret room is right here. All right. It doesn't matter because this also counts as the secret room pool. So we'll pop that. Beautiful. And Lost Soul. All right. For now, this is fine. Oh, we have quad shot with that too. We can pop this. We'll save this for next floor's potential and hopeful angel deal. But what's Lost Soul going to give us off the bat? We did lose you last time, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Soul, but I hope that you forgive me. Okay, well. It does give us nothing, actually. It gives us... Does it give us, like, charges at least? Might be a completely useless item. which does make me kind of sad, but whatever. I want to use my 48-hour energy and all my reserves of my heart in an angel room for hopefully Holy Mantle, stuff like that. Can you get Birthright? How does getting Birthright as a Wisp work as this character? Because isn't the Wisp or the Birthright Wisp... The Birthright item gives you more Wisps, whatever. Anyways, back to Patrick Bateman music talk right now. Yeah, you know, I didn't really have an option there. I'm sorry, Lost Soul. You had to go. You had to go, brother. The opening track on the album is titled The End, and it is kind of a song about how they're kind of celebrating over somebody's death, whether it be in like an honorable... What am I doing? An honorable fashion, or it be like a mocking fashion. I would argue it's more in the mocking sense because of how it's just portrayed as like... They keep emphasizing how tragic it is, but then they're also like, we just laugh and smile about it, so it kind of feels like it's a mocking track. And that gets buffed up by the second part of the album, which is called Dead, where essentially he's like, you deserve to be dead because you've done some pretty heinous things, and I'm glad you're finally being punished for it, which is a bold statement from Mr. Way himself, I feel like. And I take it as more of a mocking tone. I could be misinterpreting the song there, but I do feel like he's coming from a place of mocking generally, which isn't bad. I mean, he obviously has some feelings for something in that song that are coming to light, and he's, you know, whatever he thinks is right. It's his music, his stuff. He can do whatever he wants with it. But he basically says stuff, you know, like, oh, by the way, do you know that you're actually dead right now? Like, nobody cares about you. No one liked you anyways. Like, I'm glad you're dead. So in the end, and Dead go hand in hand. There's this double track entendre about how this person's death should be celebrated because he didn't like the person or the person did him wrong. And then we get a weird tonal shift in the next part of the album, which is called The Sharpest Lives, which is almost this like vampiric song, if that makes sense, where he's kind of like talking about his experience for crashing on his friends' couches and how he's still sleeping in his clothes and he still has feelings for the person, even though he knows that he fucked up or they fucked up and something bad went wrong there. He still has reserved feelings for this person. And then he kind of goes into a self-reflection later on about how we needed hearts for our third charge for our book in the Angel deal, so pretty big heart grabs there. Also, Meryl's not bad, I guess, for, well, we had a bone heart for a couple seconds there, but, you know, it's gone now. He kind of goes into this little spiel about how, like, it is both of their faults that they hate each other. Where in the line, like, you know, Juliet loves to bleed, or wait, what does it go? Romeo likes to bleed, and like Juliet laughs at the blood on her hands. It's obviously a telling sign of somebody who is obsessed with toxicity, and how their relationship was mostly formed off of that, and they kind of enjoyed the excitement that it brought, and how they, while enjoying that excitement, kind of made it hard to stay together in the tougher times. And I think he's kind of lamenting on losing this person. I think this album is mostly, it's not a breakup album, but it does take heavy thematic presence from a breakup album in that kind of regard. I'm going to move on. I don't want to do my mirror right now. I don't feel like it. But I think after Sharpest Lies comes the title song. No, is it? Yeah, so then the song, The Black Parade, which is what the album is titled, comes on. And it's kind of where you really do hear what I feel like is a culmination of the past 6 years of them making music. It really does feel like their encore. And I don't like this song particularly a lot. I find it to be kind of repetitive, and it is overplayed because I played it a lot when I was in middle school, so I'm still kind of sick of it in that regard. But it is, you cannot deny, it is like whoo, Jesus Christ. It is kind of like the My Chemical Romance. Oh, nice. A lot of really interesting Bob's Brain synergies here. Okay. It is kind of an interesting thought there. But the Black Parade starts off with the singer, or the character, I guess, of this album, talking more about the loss of his father and how his father was kind of like his role model, and his father wanted him to be inspired, and his father wanted him to go out and do great things. And the character is kind of like, he feels like he's letting his dad down in a way. And whether it be because of his relationship's toxicity or the way he's handled things publicly, that this character in this album is upset. He's like, I'm just a man, I'm not a hero, I'm just a guy, you know, who wants to sing this song. He doesn't want to have the responsibility of what his father, you know, intended him to do. Because his father is gone, and it was kind of like what he makes out to be his final wish, it does hit him really hard, and he's kind of like, I think I should be better, I guess, that's my interpretation, at least. And the song goes on a while. It repeats the phrases, you know, I'm just a guy, I'm not a hero by any means, I'm just trying to, like, you know, put this message out there. And after that really upbeat song ends, we get kind of a very depressing song called I Don't Love You, which I think goes back to reference the relationship issues that this character's been having throughout his experience being made for this album, or, like, you know, in his life. Whether it be an extension of Gerard Way or just somebody he made up in his mind to write an album about, it seems to be, it could be, you know, written from the perspective of his loved one that he lost. You never know. But the song essentially is like, they broke up because they just lost feelings. And it could be because of toxicity. It could just be because, you know, you just lose feelings over time. You know, it can happen. It definitely can. But what I, you know, try to see it as is kind of like a look back in time. When I hear this song, when this song comes on, what an amazing item room, by the way. When this song comes on, the first thing that I think in my head is it's a step back in time. And I look at The Sharpest Lives, and I see it from a more contemporary standpoint of the singer and the character. You know, they're crashing on their friend's couch, and they're talking about the toxicity because they've already broken up. And this song puts that in perspective. Well, they already... That was so dumb on my part, honestly. Why did I even think it was going to work? Oh, I carried the bomb. I carried the bomb. What more can I say there? I carried the bomb at me. This is not as good as our last run was. We gulped Curved Horn, though. Magic Mush? Nah, there's a pill over here. It was a bad pill, but it was a pill, believe it or not. And I think this song kind of puts in perspective that this person is starting to regret the toxicity and regret what they did in the relationship, because, you know, their father trying to tell them to be an honest person and a good person has come back to them, and they're like, well, shit, I haven't been being a good person. I haven't been being a good role model. And looking back at how everything ended with the closest person aside from my father in my life, it's heartbreaking to this character. And it kind of like spirals into this whole, like, he's lamenting. He's like, you know, this is on me. The blood is on my hands here. What's the next song on the album? I keep pausing, but sorry. Next is House of Wolves. I don't really know how to place House of Wolves anywhere. It's kind of like this sporadic, it's almost like a random song. It doesn't feel like it fits into the narrative for me. And I don't recall the song super well, I'll be honest. I don't really recall the song super strongly. It is a really good one, but lyrically it's not really coming into my head right now. But it is kind of a chaotic song about... I think it would be, if I was, you know, contextualizing this into this character's story, I would say it's kind of him just having an almost angry or mental break over all this stress he's been piling on himself, or I guess I should say themselves in this case. And, you know, they don't really know how to cope with it because it's just a lot. And, like, there are lines like, you know, run the devil, because, like, he's talking about, you know, how, like, he feels like he's being chased down by his sins and stuff, and it's just kind of like weighing on him in a very, you know, angry and loud sentiment. But I feel like if I was to put that into scope on the album, I would... Oh, I'm gonna die in one hit here, by the way. Watch out. I need HP, please, game. You're giving me a lot, but I'm throwing it away, and I apologize for that. If you do want to give me some more help here. Oh, it's our boss fight. Oh, no. I mean, there is HP right here. No! Good. Whew. Jesus Christ. All right. Little Steven, Explosivo, Rune Bag, Metal Plate, Hypercoagulation, Habit, Fruitcake. Did we seriously only get 1, 2, 3 angel items out of how many pops there? Dude. Brother. Okay. Well, you know, Jar of Wisp isn't bad, and we do have a really insane build. It is kind of a self-damaging build right now. Oh my god, what the hell was that? We have Fruitcake, right. I want a Sulfur Tier, there we go. I want to go to the mines. Do I? I don't actually. It was just because it was there. I'm moving on. After House of Wolves on that album, where his kind of mental break comes in, comes Cancer, Mama, and then Sleep. Cancer is another one of those sad ballads. If you don't know MCR, you might know 21 Pilots, and they covered this song years ago. It's about losing someone to cancer. It's more accurately losing someone that you plan to, or that you loved, like a significant other to cancer. And I don't know where the inspiration for this song came from, because to be honest, I don't think I recall Gerard Way ever talking about losing. I mean, he doesn't have to, right? It's a private thing, but this does seem like it kind of puts in perspective. This is not about him. This is about a character he's making up to write an album about, which I think is a lot more creative, to be honest with you. Not that writing songs about yourself and your own experiences are not creative. I just think this is a very unique way to go about making a character. But, no, he kind of does this thing where in this song, he places himself in the cancerous position. Like, he has the cancer. And judging by the past songs, you could say it's more of a metaphor. That the cancer is more of like a virus, kind of like how he was very toxic in the relationship, and that's what killed it. That could be him putting himself, saying, I'm the one who messed this up, this is on me. But I don't think it is that metaphor. I think it is more literal than we're giving it credit for. I think that a lot of the context given implies that this person just keeps losing people, and everyone that he's with just ends up being, you know, hurt or lost due to whether it be his fault or other circumstances. And it does kind of come into play with the next couple of songs. We'll get to that in a minute, though. I want to finish up on Cancer. But the Cancer thing is kind of like, he doesn't want to kiss his lover because, you know, he feels disgusting about it because, you know, he thinks having cancer is a gross. We'll go for Wisps here. Is a gross thing for him. And it is embarrassing for him, which if you have suffered from cancer, have loved ones. I personally have had a lot of loved ones who have suffered from cancer and passed away from it. I don't think it's very offensive, honestly, to write a song about cancer. I think it's quite actually normal to, even if you haven't experienced it, to write about it. I don't think there's any rule that says you can't write about it, to be honest, but I'm going to pop you in here, by the way. I feel it. I was feeling it wrong. I felt it very wrong there. Very, very wrong. But regardless, it essentially is, whether it's metaphorical or literal, he is losing somebody to cancer. Whether the cancer be actual cancer and it's himself, or it's a more metaphorical take on him and his toxicity ruining, you know, every good thing he's had. Which is, I think, whoa, the D frickin' 7 Wisp there, excuse me, was not a fan. And then what's after that? What's after that? Next comes Mama, and then Sleep. So Mama is almost like an old-timey war ballad, if you will, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but he is talking about how he's killed people and he regrets it, which I think is again, it's more of a metaphor. I don't think this character actually did go to war. That will be kind of a weird tonal shift for the album to take, which I don't think is necessary. Why is it doing this controller thing? Well, it's keyboard time. Oh, no. I have not... We can just do this, right? Okay, we're back on controller. That was terrifying. I was like, I am dying if we're on keyboard right now, but we're fine. And I do think that the song Mama opens up with him saying, like, Mama, we're all gonna die. Right now we're building a coffin your size. Like, we're all gonna go to hell. We're all gonna die. And it is implied that this is taking place during a war, and that he is actually a soldier. Like, because in the end, it's, you know, we say we're all brothers in arms and stuff like that, which I think implies that they're, to some degree, they're in a certain, like, you know, conflict. But again, I think it's more metaphorical, and it's him just saying, like, you know, it's him rationalizing, because he just lost, like, so many people in his life, his dad, potentially 1 to 2 significant others and stuff like that. I think it's him more, kind of being like, you know, I'm going to rationalize being shitty a shitty person because things are taken away from me, and this is how I react to it. Which, you know, we've all been there, right? We've all been there, kind of rationalizing our shitty behavior in the past. It happens, you know. It's just it's part of being human. Like, everybody has their moments there, but it's how you react to those moments that really make you, I think, like, you know, who you are as a person. And I think that this is kind of showing our characters, like, you know, downfall arc, because you always have your character has a downfall moment, then they're on they get their, you know, redemption arc later on, and we see that in the album as well. I think that trope kind of pulls true the further we get into this album here. But Mama is more of like a song about how, you know, we got another, was this last run we had? We got Blood Bomb's last run, but now we have Creep Bob's Brain. Very, very nice. And HP, by the way. Eyesore and Larkography. Ooh, boy. Well, we have it for real now, which is very, very nice. This is a very fun item to have with Quad Shot. You get, what, 2 shots in there? Or 1 shot becomes huge. Right. Well, I think we're going to win this run, fair to say. I don't think anything can ever touch us ever again, to be honest with you. But I think it's him just kind of dealing with him being toxic and not wanting to change, because if everything from him is taken away, why should he change? Which, again, I'm not going to defend that mindset, because I think it's a mindset of like a 4-year-old child. But that's kind of just like him and his own toxicity. I feel like coming back once again to bite him. After that comes Sleep, which as a younger fellow, like a 13-year-old, I thought to myself that this was the worst song on the album. And I don't anymore. I don't know what that title would go to, but I actually quite enjoy the song now. And the song Sleep, as deep as this might sound, and I might get demonetized for even saying this on a video, but I do think it does deal with suicidal tendencies, because he's, you know, talking about how he just wants to go to sleep. And this coming after his, you know, almost back-to-back 2 rants about how it's okay to be, like, you know, a crazy individual just because things are taken away from you. It seems like he's just tired. You know, it's just like he's, like, you know, done with all of this. And it's a shame, because it shows our main character kind of giving up. And it is... If this was like a movie, you would be heartbroken over this. You'd be like, you know, this isn't the way to go, man. You can do better than this. And it's also not hard to infer that it is because of the genre that this is in, like the emo and more goth, almost like pop punk scene, where those kind of tropes are very prevalent, I feel like. So I think it's not a stretch to assume this song is about that. And it's also worth noting, this song is also about PTSD, which our character could be experiencing. For a little bit of context, part of the reason MCR formed, which is not, I guess, a confirmed fact, but it's what I've seen whenever I look up the band, is that it was due to the fallout from 9/11 is what brought the band together. It's a weird story of how I think Sleep is inspired by the 9/11 stuff, which I don't know how true that is. I've seen it in a couple places. I don't know if it's verified or not, but it's worth noting the song is about PTSD. And they use a sample in the song of a phone call of someone saying, you know, it felt like somebody was shaking me, like, in my sleep and stuff like that. I believe it's paraphrasing there, obviously. But it's worth noting that the song might have some other grander meaning that's more about the band itself than the actual album. But I do think it ties into the tendencies of just not being okay with yourself, and that's kind of the character's own manifestation of that. Regardless of that, though, after that song... what comes next? I'm getting so confused here, and I apologize. We'll go Polaroid here. This is all Soul Heart Run. Ooh, and you know what? We have one solely out there. I'll take this. I do like, this might be worse for Larkography, or might even be better, honestly. We'll take that, and then we'll move on. But after that, okay, Teenagers, Disenchanted, Famous Last Words. So Teenagers. How does this fit into the narrative? I think the last half of the album almost kind of feels... I'm going to guess it's bottom... top right or bottom? I'm going to go top right, because I said bottom left first, and I know I'm going to be wrong either way, so we'll go this way first, I guess. But it's weird, because I feel like the last half of this album, it does kind of drop the concept part, and just kind of... I feel like the narrative gets a little bit lost, in my interpretation at least, because he kind of just goes back and forth, the character, from being extremely depressed and losing stuff to being angry about it all over again. Because Teenagers is a very rebellious song about how, you know, you're not understood and that they're scared of you because you have influence. You're not just a kid. You have, you know, actual power. It's a very uplifting song for, you know, I'm a teenager still. I'm 19. So it is still a very, you know, kind of cathartic song to hear after, you know, because everyone as a kid, they get told you're just a kid. You doesn't really know what, you don't really, it doesn't really matter what you say. You're just a child and stuff like that. And this song kind of is the antithesis of that mindset, which I respect a lot. You know, I think it's a very bold message to take. And I think that they did it pretty well, honestly. They did it very, very well. And this song more serves, I think, as kind of just like the hits off the album, if that makes sense, where it's kind of written to just be a song that, whether you hate or like MCR, you won't escape the song because it's about a topic that every teenager in the world can relate to. It's kind of like they wrote it to be a hit. That was amazing, by the way. They kind of wrote it to, oh, I guess it was, huh. I guess it could be right up there. I hate the XL with mapping because I always go the wrong way no matter where I go. I guess it could be top middle. It's got to be, there's still like three more places it could be. Whatever. But it kind of feels like this was just like the hit song they threw in there randomly, just because they wanted to make sure the album was at least commercially viable for how much of a standout it was at the time. Because like weirdly enough, like before this, they had albums that were more like punk focused than I think pop focused. This was kind of their first intro into pop punk as a scene. Because 3 Cheers was definitely more like hard. It was more like, I don't know. I don't want to say, it wasn't a hardcore album, but it was definitely more on the grittier side, I guess. And pop punk is not really known for being grittier. It's kind of just like, help me? It's kind of just like known for being, you know, upbeat and a little bit edgy and just fun to listen to. So putting like, and then you know, it's also known for its open chord guitars and usually dual guitars as well, because it has the whole like ambient chord progression in the background plus a lead playing along to the vocals. Usually is how pop punk goes. It's not this way, huh? You're telling me it's the first place I guessed and I didn't go there because I thought I was gonna be wrong because I never guessed the right direction? Ooh, Soul of Eden, yes please. Wow, that's funny. That's hilarious, honestly. Well, down we go. What if it's straight down? It's like 2 rooms away from the starting area. I'm gonna be livid if that's the case. I'm going to be absolutely livid. Absolutely. But Teenagers happens, and I believe the next song was not Famous Last Words. It was Disenchanted, which feels like the character is starting to say goodbye. And they're giving in to their tendencies, because this song is talking in the past tense. Like, after all that we did, after all that happened to me, you know, like, I'm not going to move on. Like, I'm over this and I'm done. That's kind of what the character is saying. And it might honestly be the saddest song they have ever written. Like, just listen to that song, Disenchanted by MCR. 2006 was the album. No shit. Why did I not remember that? It's so fucking easy. Listen to that song if you haven't heard any MCR before. That song is emotionally hitting. That song is emotionally hitting, and... Oh. Cool. Okay, nice. It really is, and I think that it's one of their best examples of how good their writing can be on this album, and as a whole as a band, because like they have, you know, they have reached those heights again before with I'll fight Hush. We made it here, might as well. We have 13 keys too. We can do it. It's interesting, right? It's interesting. Because they've definitely hit in high highs before in their writing, and they're gonna continue to hit that. Well, they're not a band anymore, but they would continue to hit those over and over again as the years went on, because well, they're an amazing band and they just know what they're doing, you know. Dude, that was a great card to pick up though. Hoping for a damage. That also is just as fine. I guess we'll grab the Charm Tears, and it is time to look for a crawl space. We do have the Ball and Chain. So we can do that to save ourselves 1 bomb. We can do one of these here. Okay, nothing. Nothing. Come on, get in there, get in there. Nothing, and... It's right here, isn't it? It's gonna be right here, isn't it? No, it was not. Well, the game's not being super angry at me right now. Put a bomb right here. That was kind of a wasted bomb, but whatever. No, nothing right there. Okay, no, we're fine. We have Bob's Brain for the boss fight here. That's going to be doing some major damage. There, it's right there, you buffoon. You already saw it happen. No black market, but we do see that, which I guess is fine. Bursting Sack's not a bad thing to have. We're also Spider Babby now, which is, you know, you don't see every single run, you know? All right, well, we can buy the sack. Or, oh, a strength card. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. Okay. What was this card? Oh. Well, we're going to pop strength for sure in here. Here we go. But yeah, I think Disenchanted is one of their... Probably is my favorite song by them, to be honest with you. It does hit those emotional highs that the album was striving for. And was just slightly, very slightly... not hitting, and it was at that point, and you know what, I'm really happy that it made it onto the album, because I think it is a very important part of the narrative, because, you know, after all the time that we still owed. No, that's a different song. What's this? Enchanted? It's the one. Oh, I was there on the day, you know, they stole the cards from the queen. When the lights all went out, I watched my live on the stream. I hate the ending myself, but it started with an alright scene. He's literally saying that, you know, he hated the way his life ended, but, you know, it started out all right with the girl he was with, or the person that he was with. It started out just fine. And that's kind of our confirmation that this character is gone. Like, the album, you know, the physical part of this album, it's over. And it is a very hard thing to hear, because, like, you know, it's a lot of people who listen to their music have the same exact issues going on in their life, and it's very brave to commercially tackle those live, you know, to your audience. That's very, very... We're gonna lose all of our wisp here, aren't we? We are gonna have a rough ending of this fight right here. Thank God for Bob's Brain. Get some bombs in there too. Yeah, that's really good, because your current DPS has dropped off insanely. You still have 10 damage and 1.5 tier rate, but my lord, man, my lord. I wanted to bomb you, not the freaking Gaper, dude. Aw, man, Bob's Brain my ass. You always dodge my stuff. Can you just, like, be respectful for once? Just once in my life? All right, we're safe right here. But yeah, I think it was an important part of the narrative there, and we get our secondary, and which we don't really need, but we also get it still. Confirmation of this character being gone. In the song, it's literally titled "Famous Last Words," and this song is what it sounds like. Famous last words. And I think personally that this song is written from the other person's perspective, the person who is still living but left that relationship, because of the first opening line, which is, "I know I can't make you stay, but where's your heart?" I think that is a very telling sign that this is written from the other person's perspective, and that we have Polaroid, right? Yeah, it's uptime. I'm not going to Delirium. Fuck that. Fuck Delirium right now. No, we went there with our last T Bethany run. No, thank you. And I think that it's a very bitter song, and it deserves to be bitter. It deserves to be bitter, you know? Oh, that was beautiful. I could go grab the golden pill, or I can just leave my floor here and face 0 repercussions. Ow. Get in there. Okay, I wasted a bomb. That's my bad. Our bombs are really good for combat. Don't throw them away for no reason. Oh, I'm gonna miss my Bob's Brain here. No, we got the big Bobby Brain on there. No big deal. Okay, I was standing in the entirely wrong place apparently. How are you living? There, I was like, how are you? You had 0 HP. What are you doing, dog? Okay, chest time. Pretty fast cathedral there. Not gonna lie. Not going to lie. But I just found the album to be quite interesting, and the ending song, Famous Last Words, has never really felt final to me, which is why I was surprised to hear that there was a secret. Well, I've known for a while because I've been a big fan, but that there is kind of this, like, compass. How come I can't see my boss fight then? Can I save and exit, please, and see this boss fight here? Wow, I can't. I can't move either? What is this controller issue I'm experiencing? Hold on. Nope. Alt F4 the game now. Alt F4 to crash eyes because I can't close it. I don't know what's going on. I cannot sync my files with the Steam Cloud. That does not matter to me. I play with Steam Cloud off anyways because I hate getting automatic updates. So please turn on here. Thank you. And those are going to be good here. Maybe compass bonus? No compass bonus. Very sad. We'll pop this. Oh my god, excuse me, for the wisp, and we'll move on here. But like the final song, Famous Last Words, never really felt final to me. And it always, for me, Teenagers stuck out as a really odd song. And it could be, you know, him saying like a lot of his stress comes from being a teenager who is not taken seriously. That's definitely an argument you can make there, but it still felt like a sore thumb to me on the album. This all changes, though, when the hidden track is revealed, titled Blood. Now, Blood is this almost like snarky, theater-esque track about how people are just out for blood. Mostly, you know, authority figures are just out for blood. They encourage your cooperation, you know, send you roses and they need you to smile. All this stuff about, you know, how great these people are to him, but all they want is his hard, you know, working money in his blood. And this kind of gives context to Teenagers in my eyes, because it shows that he's, you know, held resentment for these authority figures, whether it be parents, teachers, companies, you know, bosses, whatever, that just seem out to get him. And it does give more context to the idea that this character we're seeing is a teenager, which is why he can't deal with loss that well. He can't deal with the loss of his father, losing somebody maybe to cancer, losing his significant other, you know, from his toxicity. He can't deal with it because he's just a kid still. He's a teenager. When you're a teenager, you don't know how to deal with stuff like that. It hits like a truck sometimes. It truly does. Thank you for that. We got Scapegoat, huh? My favorite. And it gives more context to that. And it also kind of points out the villain of the album, which is the people who didn't help this person, is everybody. You know, I think Blood, while at surface value, it is, you know, a critique of authority figures. It comes down to that everybody could have helped this person, but nobody really gave a damn because he was toxic at first, and it put him in a situation where he couldn't change his ways. And that is a very interesting topic to tackle, I think. And I think they did it in a really, 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 you know, profound way, I would say. But it was quite interesting to hear that the song at first as a kid, being, oh, this is a cute song. And then to kind of, you know, start to understand it more as you go through more things in life, you know, just as the average person does. Little Dompy, let's go. It was really cool to see that kind of, oh, soy milk, dude? Actually really good right now. I like soy milk. I'll say it. I'm a big soy milk fan. Just don't lose it, please. Good. Let's go fuck up our final boss. If we get a void portal here, sure. I might go to void. I'll consider it even, maybe. But if we don't, there's no questions asked there. Final thoughts on Black Parade. No portal, thank God. Great album. Give it a listen. Very nice concept album. Probably one of the best rock operatics ever written. But in the meantime, guys, that is win number 150. If you enjoyed this series so far, a like and a comment goes a long way for a small channel like mine. In the meantime, peace out. Goodbye. See you later. Merry Christmas.